Benavidez Morrell, who wins?
It's gonna be a good fight. It's gonna be a good fight. 50-50 fight.
And I think that it's gonna be a war. In my eyes, I see it as a 50-50 fight.
These fighters, I think David Morrell may have needed, one or two more real tests before he really, build the resolve to be able to handle a guy with the ability, the power.
Boxing experts have shared their thoughts on the upcoming fight between David Benavidez and David Morrell. Sean Porter is backing Benavidez to win in their 12-round main event on Saturday, February 1st at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. Porter favors Benavidez due to his greater experience in the ring compared to the undefeated Morrell. He believes Benavidez's history with top-level competition gives him the edge. Porter sees the fight as closely matched but gives Benavidez a slight advantage around 55-45. He highlights Benavidez's strength and experience in longer fights, which Morrell hasn't faced yet at the professional level. While both fighters are big, Porter feels Benavidez is more naturally suited for the 175 pounds division, and his endurance could be a key factor in the fight.
What fight is that one?
That's 50-50 right there. If anything, 55-45 for Benavidez. I love David versus David. I love everything about the fight. The thing I feel that Benavidez has over Morrell is experience, is true strength. Both of those guys are big guys, but I think Benavidez is more of the natural 175-pounder.
Yeah, Morrell's such a high-level technical fighter, but Jose mentioned what you just mentioned, they feel like the experience is gonna eventually show through. I don't know, take me into that, how experience can trump talent in technicality like that.
You know what? The thing that I know for this fight, when you are in a competitive fight that's gonna go 12 rounds, of course you're prepared for the 12.
Sean Porter highlights that Morrell hasn't faced an opponent with the pressure or size of Benavidez, noting that Benavidez's style could expose Morrell's weaknesses. Morrell handled Ravo Katic in his 175-pound debut, but Benavidez will bring a different challenge. If Benavidez charges in recklessly, he might get caught by Morrell's counters. Porter gives Benavidez a slight edge but expects a tough fight, possibly taking 8 to 9 rounds. Canelo Alvarez calls it a 50-50 fight, with both fighters having something to prove. Andy Cruz predicts a knockout win for Morrell, praising his focus and preparation. Benavidez's fans have backed him as a top fighter, but a loss to Morrell would challenge that view, especially given Benavidez's history of facing smaller, older opponents. Some experts believe Morrell can win by staying composed in the first rounds, while others back Benavidez for a potential stoppage victory.
And man, how do you think Benavidez does? Your gym mate a week after you fight. How do you think that fight goes with Morrell, man?
I think David, he's looking very good. I've been in the gym with him for the past few weeks, and he's been looking great shape, doing some amazing things in the ring. Like always, David's a monster. So I think he'll take care of business February 1st. I think he might even get the stoppage against David Morrell.
Benavidez has earned his monster nickname due to his relentless, multifaceted attack. However, Pacquiao, who sparred with him just 3 months ago, highlighted Benavidez's underrated defensive abilities. Pacquiao's eyes lit up as he spoke about Benavidez's defense, noting that although Benavidez often stands upright, his defensive skills are impressive. Pacquiao explained that Benavidez is very adept at pulling back and quickly countering, making his defense surprisingly effective.
David Morrell is a guy that you can't take lightly, He's a great fighter. He's up there for a reason, one of the best Cubans out right now. So, it's going to be a great fight, but I just feel like David is one of those guys, too, who's a monster and just doesn't let anyone take it from him, And when he's in there, he's going in there for the kill. And, of course, I feel like Morrell is maybe going to be his toughest opponent yet.
Benavidez is constantly working to improve, filming everything and focusing on details like footwork and shoulder movements. Pacquiao appreciated Benavidez's willingness to share his insights and offer tips to help with his own training.
I think he has a really good jab. He's a good fighter. He keeps his distance really well, so that I feel like he's gonna make it hard for David in the early rounds. But like we saw with Caleb Plant, Caleb Plant was doing a great job boxing the first few rounds when he fought David, but then David just has that chip in his shoulder where he's just coming forward. Even on the clinch hits, he's still punching. He's still getting punches in, and I feel like when you're boxing a guy like David and he just keeps coming forward no matter what you do, it just makes it hard mentally for you to keep that same game plan and stick to it, because we have a monster like him throwing big punches coming in.
Gabriel Rosado believes David Morrell's taunts have sparked a fiercer side of David Benavidez, making their 12-round fight intense. Rosado gives Benavidez the edge but warns not to underestimate Morrell, who brings technical skill to the ring. Benavidez relies on his relentless volume, but Morrell's sharp tactics may slow him down. Antonio Tarver suggests Morrell might need a knockout to win, as Benavidez's pace leaves him vulnerable to powerful strikes. Benavidez's usual dominance over smaller opponents could be challenged by Morrell's power and skill. Tarver believes Morrell's best chance is landing a significant shot to take the win.
And it's going to be, I think Morrell's going to have to find that shot that really, not only drops, but, concuss. He got to knock David Benavidez out. And there's fighters you can make quit. I don't think neither one of these fighters you can make quit. Sometime you got to knock them out. And I think this is one of those type of fights where, in order to secure victory, in order to secure victory, one of these guys is going to have to end it with inside the distance. And I think when you look at, what they bring to the table, David Benavidez is going to have a little reach and size advantage. Will be, I think, one of the, more gifted fighters that Benavidez has faced. I think David Morrell comes in with a lot of talent. And you got, a guy that has a talent like both of these guys, and they rise to the occasion. It's the moment that really gets these guys up. And I think this is the type of fight that you can say it's going to bring the best out of both of these guys, man.